U.S. Senate Republicans vote to advance a $70 billion plan to fund the Immigration and Customs Enforcement and Border Control agencies for the next 3 years without Democratic support, triggering the reconciliation process. Hi, I'm Ari with CPTV News. We're going to tell you about that. Plus, the boys volleyball team faced a tough Chesterton team Monday night. Senate Republicans have taken a significant step to address a partial government shutdown by moving forward on funding for immigration agencies without support from Democrats. Lawmakers voted 50-48 to adopt a non-binding budget resolution and sent it to the House of Representatives.
Republicans are moving forward with a budget resolution that will allow us to fund critical functions that Democrats refuse to support.
The move has triggered a reconciliation process which allows certain budget-related bills to bypass Democratic opposition in the Senate with a simple majority of 51 votes. Democrats, however, remain opposed to the funding initiative. After 2 U.S. citizens, Renee Good and Alex Preddy, were killed by immigration enforcement, Democrats have insisted that agencies like ICE and Border Patrol operate under the same rules as police departments nationwide, including requirements for judicial warrants before entering private homes. The funding plan, if enacted, is expected to last through the end of President Trump's presidency in January 2029. The debate continues as the House takes up the resolution next.
This past weekend marked the 75th annual Little 500 at Indiana University, the nation's biggest college bike race. Originally established to support the Students Helping Students campaign, the race is now organized by the IU Student Foundation. However, this year's festivities took an unexpected turn. Early Sunday morning at 12:25 a.m. following the race, a dispute at a Five Guys restaurant escalated into a shooting. 9 individuals, all between the ages of 17 and 22, were confirmed injured, though none were identified as university students. The investigation remains ongoing with no suspects arrested at this time.
Indiana Governor Mike Braun has signed new legislation aimed at addressing the state's growing housing shortage. The law requires local governments to review zoning policies and report housing development data to the state. Supporters argue the law would increase housing supply and improve affordability. Critics say the measure could weaken local control over development decisions.
As we debate which provisions to amend, I urge you to keep in mind that young adults need starter homes.
Local officials in some communities worry the mandate may pressure cities to approve developments which residents oppose.
Every city, town, county to hold a public hearing this year on ways to expand the housing supply.
The law takes effect on July 1st as Indiana continues to face rising housing costs.
NIPSCO is working towards doubling its electrical generation output to serve the Amazon Web Services data center project in Hobart. Last week, NIPSCO representatives appeared in front of an Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission hearing to present the plan to add 3 megawatts of generation at the Schaefer Generating Station in Wheatfield. The investment in a new $641.2 million 400 megawatt natural gas peaker at the plant in Wheatfield will double the utility's generating capacity. Abby Gray, the Indiana Office of Utility Consumer Counselor, raised questions about the plan, including whether consumers could end up on the hook for some of the transmission costs and whether NIPSCO can ensure it can supply such a large load without incurring the risk of blackouts.
Winfield town officials on Tuesday approved a purchase agreement of 120 acres which will be developed into what officials termed a generational central park. The Winfield Redevelopment Commission gave the nod to the 3-year purchase agreement for farmland owned by the Sapper family.
So this will be a 120-acre park. Keep in mind the Randolph Park is roughly, 10, maybe 10 without the pond?
Yeah, the pond's
about 12 times the size of the existing park we have.
The initial plan is to include a nature trail, a fishing pier and pond, a sledding hill, 3 different parks including a skate park, little league and soccer fields, and tennis and pickleball courts. The location of the land is north of 117th and east of Benton Street.
A recent parish closing in the Diocese of Gary is raising questions and drawing attention across Northwest Indiana after the NWI Times newspaper published an article regarding a retired priest who publicly claimed the former St. Stephen Martyr Parish in Maryville was closed and sold with the knowledge that the building was, in his words, possessed by demons. According to Father Michael Maginot, the property is now being repurposed as a mental health clinic, sparking concern among some community members about transparency and the church's stance on spiritual matters like exorcism. In response, the Diocese of Gary has firmly denied the claims, emphasizing that decisions about parish closures and property sales are based on financial and pastoral needs. Diocese of Gary Director of Communications Colleen McGinty-Rabine responded to our questions regarding the article, and she stated Father Maginot, quote, was never given the title or designated as exorcist for the Diocese of Gary, end quote. Further, McGinty-Rabine stated that if the writer of the NWI Times article, Jerry Davidge, would have consulted the diocese, they would have made clear that according to Catholic theology, when an exorcism occurs, the location where it took place does not become infested with demons.
Last week, CPHS's United Culture Club hosted a multicultural fair open to the Crown Point community. 17 different cultures were represented at the fair in individual booths, which included immersive activities such as henna, Japanese origami, and a Philippines craft called parole. Junior Samya Mahakar and Senior Simra Khan performed an Indian classical and Gurba dance, and Yogeta Aurora performed a Punjabi Bhangra, both dances representing the Indian culture. The Multicultural Fair offered opportunities for various cultures in Crown Point to be represented within this community.
My favorite part about this fair was trying the different food from different cultures. But I think what really made my day was seeing all the cultures come together in one place.
For the first time in almost 20 years, the Region Idol competition is returning to Crown Point at Bulldog Park. Starting May 27th and continuing on following Wednesdays for 8 weeks, local musicians have the opportunity to perform on the main stage at Bulldog Park before fans and judges. The competition will give local artists the opportunity to compete for the title of Region Idol, which comes with the opportunity to perform at the Taste of Crown Point this summer. Produced by returning host Speros Barastados, the event hopes to bring a fun, family experience to Crown Point.
The experience that we can provide the singers is going to be dramatically different than what we were able to do, 20 years ago. The technology has gone so crazy that it's really going to be a very special opportunity for the contestants to be on the big stage with a big sound behind them and a sound engineer to help them.
Contestants can register for $55 at regionidol.com, or you can scan the QR code below. Spectators can attend all performances for free.
Here's what's up in sports. The boys golf team faced off in a non-conference matchup last night against Ileana Christian. Course conditions at Yuki Country Club were wet due to recent storms, and it definitely showed throughout the round. CP seniors Nolan Babcock and Sam Head led the way for the Dogs, shooting 39 and 41 respectively, stepping up with strong performances despite the tough conditions. Still, the Vikings were able to take early control of the match and never looked back, maintaining their momentum to secure the win 177-207.
The CP boys volleyball team found themselves in a tight match Monday in front of a small but loud crowd while facing the Chesterton Trojans at home. In the first set, CP won 25-21, with junior Isaac Beard delivering powerful spikes and junior outside hitter Quinn Kaufman playing solid defense. In the second set, the Trojans stepped up closer to the net to ensure more blocks and ultimately won the set by 5. Similar to the first set, the third was close most of the way, with the Dogs finding a way to pull ahead and take a 2-1 lead. And then, while still close, the Dogs pulled away in the fourth set to take the match 3-1.
The CP softball team hosted the Maryville Pirates on Wednesday. Maryville quickly racked up 2 runs in the first inning, but the Dogs answered right back, scoring 11 runs in their bottom half of the first, capped off with Evie Cuevas' first career home run. The Bulldogs maintained a steady lead throughout the game with homers by Ashlyn Keita, Lila Stymack, and Paige Lazert. Emily Beeson started the game for the Dogs, who went on to win 23-2.
Our whole lineup is strong enough to overcome these tough games.
Before we go, a quick look at our CP and WI weather forecast. Tomorrow we'll see mostly sunny skies with a high of 53, more clouds and partly sunny on Sunday, warming up to a high of 65, and partly sunny on Monday with a chance of scattered showers and a high of 74. Remember, for the latest in CP and NWI news, check in with CPTV News either at thedogradio.com, here on Snapchat at CPTV_QuickHut, or on Twitter at Crown Team Media. See you next time.